Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Okay, let's go back in time a little bit to when they first announced the CONOR BENN CHRIS EUBANK Jr. fight, 2022, excuse me. Um, all along, I thought, I'm not really interested in this fight. It's a gimmick. It's based on their father's legacy. Um, a small welterweight jumping up two weights to face a weight-drained middleweight. Uh, I'm just not that interested. I just don't think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I don't think that if Eubank was to win, so what? He's beaten a small welter. If Ben was to somehow win, you've beaten a drained middleweight who, it's not a real win, is it? The whole thing just smacked of a kind of cynical exercise in money making, which not like boxing, is it? But I just thought this is rubbish. This is a gimmick fight, and I never really had much interest in it. And then, of course, even though I had no interest in it, it exploded because Ben failed the clomiphene tests, two of them, not one of them. And we all, I won't rehash that. We all know what it's all about. Well, they've resurrected this fight. June the 3rd in, what is it now? Is it Abu Dhabi or one of those places? It was in the Middle East anyway. June the 3rd, they're going to fight. And I just think this is a garbage fight. I really do. Now, the narrative has changed, of course, because now Ben has, the whole drugs thing. With Eubank, he's been knocked out in 4 rounds by Liam Smith, which was a shocker to me anyway. I think it was to a lot of people. I actually picked Smith to win, but I didn't think he'd knock him out. And Eubank had the option of fighting Smith again, but instead he's gone for the money like he's always done throughout his career, and apart from when he had the opportunity to fight Golovkin, and he didn't want that just as well, really. It's all about money making, but for somehow we're talking about this junk fight being held in the land of great sports washing, the land of the fascist theocracy, with its appalling human rights record. The whole thing to me is just repulsive. It really is, because let's say Ben was to win this. He would knock out a guy who again has been drained in weight, is clearly finished at middleweight. He had no punch resistance left, boiled himself down to 159 he made, and then he was going to boil down further to 157 for the initial Ben fight. He made it to 159, and then a few months later he makes 160, and he's probably done what Roy Jones Jr. did by coming down after beating John Ruiz. He went back down and fought Tava, and he clearly wrecked his body by boiling down to light heavyweight again, and he was never ever the same. He was getting knocked out by, all sorts of people. It's a shame, because I really did admire Jones's skills immensely, although he himself did fail a PED test, which we can't overlook. But I think Eubank has done the same thing. He's wrecked his body. But it wouldn't bother him that much, because he is about making money. He's not about belts and world titles and all that stuff. He wants to make a lot of money. The pound coin is his figurehead, not various belts by various ruling organisations. Then you got Ben. Instead of attempting to prove himself innocent, and he has not proved himself innocent. I don't care about this WBC decision. I don't care about his 270-page dossier, because we haven't seen it, and he hasn't submitted it to the board. And Eddie Hearn has made it very clear: I will never hold a promotion in Britain under a different licensing jurisdiction. In other words, he won't go to get a Luxembourg license. He won't go to Ireland, and he's made that clear. So Ben makes no attempt to clear his name with the board. Not interested in the board, hates the board. They've done me wrong. The bottom line is, even if you want to go down the path of Ben having no knowledge of that stuff being in his system, even if you believe that, you want to believe that, it doesn't matter. The fact is, he failed 2 tests. and he's not proved himself innocent. And it's up to him to prove himself innocent. And people say, yeah, but you're innocent until proven guilty. He's been proven guilty. There are 2 positive tests. That's guilt. Okay. If he's saying, I didn't know it was in my system, okay, but you've got to prove it now. Okay, you're in the dock. The prosecution has presented the evidence and you have to refute it. Okay, and he's not done that. So if he knocks out a weight-drained Eubank, I mean, ultimately, who cares? People are just going to say, oh, well, he probably took steroids again. Or they're going to say Eubank was drained. Or they're going to say both. You know, it doesn't mean anything. I suppose we should be thankful for small mercies, because they were talking of, this was even more bizarre, dragging Manny Pacquiao out of retirement to face Ben. What was that all about? How old's Pacquiao now? 40, 45, 46? I mean, you know, a Hall of Famer without question, although I have great suspicions about him and PEDs when he was at his peak, you know, and stopping Miguel Cotto and zapping Ricky Hatton in 2 rounds. I mean, at that point of his career, I thought this guy's on something. But anyway, that's a video for another time. And then, of course, it's over in Abu Dhabi or wherever the hell it is. I don't know where. You know, the Middle East has become this sort of Wild West where fighters go to. Like recently, we had Jarrell Miller and Lucas Brown, you know, plodding around the ring like a couple of irate elephants. It was just pub brawl, pub car park brawl. Load of rubbish. But yeah, look, Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. To me, it's rubbish. It's just junk. It's a junk fight. But here's the irony and here's the tragedy. It will sell. Can you imagine the gloves are off? The sort of viewing figures that alone would get with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. Well, you got knocked out in 4 rounds. Well, you failed a test. No. That's what it's going to be. And it will sell. And you know what? I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'd probably watch the damn thing as well. I'd probably watch the fight. I wouldn't pay a penny for it. But I would watch the fight, you know, just out of curiosity. But I'd probably watch it through my fingers, because I see this as being, whatever the result, whoever wins, points, knockout, whatever, I just see this as a meaningless fight. And if someone said to me, you can't watch this fight, you're not allowed to watch this fight ever, it wouldn't bug me. It wouldn't bug. I probably will watch it if I can find a YouTube bit or a streaming channel, whatever, which I normally find the streaming channels, no problem. But even then, I'd be more interested in, if anything, on the undercard. Hand on heart, it's just a shite fight. It really is. But anyway, you might feel differently. So if you do, leave your comments below, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thanks for your time as always. Like the video as well, that helps us out. And we will speak again sometime soon. Bye for now.